there, friends, and welcome back to the Enchanted Forest with me, Jay. We're back once again, and I've realised the place is covered in rubbish. Now, I did not actually realise this was the way you got your little people. I didn't realise you could actually put handymen down. This is new to me. I did not realise this, but considering in the previous alphas the little sort of entertainer people kind of just appeared depending on what sort of scenery you had going on, I was like, where are these guys? Why are they not appearing yet? And lo and behold, I had to actually place them myself. So, kind of makes sense really, that. Kind of makes sense. So the last episode we built this monstrosity here of this kind of roller coaster thing. And in today's episode, we are going to be donning the hell out of it with scenery and all kind of hell and stuff like that. Now, when I first started to build this, at the moment, as you're kind of looking, my plan was for it to kind of have this castle-y kind of, barracks-y, whatever you want to call it, kind of thing around the actual station itself. However, that swiftly changed from when I realised that I built this thing without even a second's thought into what the scenery around it is going to actually look like. And thus, I had to change my idea. Now, what I was going to do, like I said, was going to build like a barracks. I was going to have all kinds of different things around, little kind of army men like wandering about, because you can get kind of these knights that kind of march around, which is freaking awesome, might I add. But however, I had to change that because, like I said, I didn't pay any attention to how this particular track was going to look and was going to kind of work with the scenery as well. So what I decided instead was to try and build what I'm going to describe as sort of like a ruin, kind of like a ruined old castle-y kind of thing. And that's essentially what I go for. Now, the good thing about building a ruin is that you can kind of just really build it however you like. There's no particular kind of idea or whatever you want to call it. There's no particular design to go by. You can just kind of do whatever because it doesn't matter, because the thing is, it's a ruin. So I kind of went for this sort of design of this half-built kind of looking thing with lots of just kind of random bits here and there, which kind of looked like it was partly done, and then I kind of got bored partway through. And just to see what it would kind of look like, really. And it actually worked out looking not too bad. I actually turned out more than happy about it, because, I mean, the design of it like this is really crap. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks terrible just like this. However, once you start adding trees and more bits and bobs and other different little things, it starts to look a lot better. Now, because it's a ruin, I didn't want to have anything on there which looked like it had been used. I wanted it to be completely looking like it had been abandoned for quite some time. So I decided, okay, well, we got a nice space here. Let's build like a little tower. It's a ruin after all, and a ruin always has a tower somewhere. Now, obviously, I'm realising again that, I've got bloody bits of roller coaster kind of in the way and everything like that. So I'm having to try and make these different things. However, that does help, because it does add these gaps you can't not have now. These gaps stick in there and they actually turn out looking okay. So I wasn't too displeased with that. However, I might change that roof. I'm still umming and ahhing. Now, I had these really random things on it. I don't even know if I like them, but I added them anyway just because it looked different, and it was just kind of these weird sort of little things that were sticking off the side of the tower. But I'm not sure if I might go for a higher roof on that one. I'm not really sure. Now, in the last episode, I did say that I wanted to put something here. Now, I was just literally sat there just thinking, what the hell can I build here? So I think, okay, well, how about... Now, the first thing that came to my mind, actually, was the Great Hall from Harry Potter. So that's the first thing that came to my mind. So I was thinking, okay, I want to build, like, something it can go through. I'm obviously not going to be able to build the Great Hall because I'm not that good. But I was thinking along those kind of lines of something which it kind of flies through. Whether or not it would be a hall, I wasn't really sure. But we had to kind of try and stick to the ruin kind of thing as well, because, well, it's a ruin. It kind of helps. Now, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with these entrances. This I found really difficult to come up with something what to do. Partly as well because I couldn't get this stupid, whatever the hell this thing is. I could not get it to the point where I wanted it to be. It kept messing around and just being stupid. So eventually, I rage quit and just went off and built something else. Well, I kind of get there, and then like, no, screw it. I'm going to build something else. We're going to put something else here because it is a ruin. We're going to try and stick it to kind of like this hall, this Great Hall that was once a Great Hall, of course, not anymore. But we're going to stick to that kind of idea of how it is this thing which is once there and is no longer really used. So at the moment, I'm thinking along the lines, right, we're going to go for a Great Hall, that kind of idea. We're going for this sort of weird thing. Now, I do try to put this roof on it and think, oh, bugger. I built it slightly too big that I can't have the roof on here kind of properly. It's going to look a little bit weird. So instead, I've got to try and come up with something else that I could put on there to kind of make it look a little bit, you know, the reason why the roof is kind of indented slightly. So instead I think, alright, okay, in that sense, I do know that a lot of older buildings have this kind of, it's kind of like a lip that kind of goes around the edge. You see it quite a lot. It appears a lot in Assassin's Creed and things like that, if that's what you're thinking about, where there has this kind of like the lip that kind of goes all the way around the building. No idea what it's for. I'm assuming it's for walking around of some kind. If you're unfortunate enough to have a job that involves wandering around on rooftops for the rest of your life, then fair enough. But we go for that instead. Now, at the moment, it looks terrible. However, bear with me, because it does turn out to look a little better than I initially thought it was going to. However, this, I mean, look at it. It's ridiculous. It's just annoying. It's so difficult to place some of these pieces sometimes. It really is. You somehow have, you know, you have to remove stuff to get stuff in, to try and move it around again, to put stuff down. Oh, it just gets mental. It gets absolutely mental. But it's not turning out too bad. Now, this point was kind of awkward. I mean, there doesn't seem to be many pieces that fit just in there. I mean, unless I'm missing it, there doesn't seem to be many pieces that just fit kind of in that little bit, which is really annoying. Like I said, I might be missing it, so if I am, do let me know, but I cannot see, or I couldn't see, anything that I could fit there. So instead I just decided I was going to A-frame it and do it that way, and just fill in the gaps. Because I'm going to have scenery and stuff on there anyway, so you're really not going to notice it. So we use the, I call them these the A-frames. They're not really an A-frame, but it's that kind of shape. So I decided to do it that way and just use the bigger walls just to fill in the gaps, and then I'll add some scenery around the edge to try and blend it a little bit more. Some sides blend better than others. It just kind of really depends. It's kind of potluck, if I'm going to be honest with you. This is just, I mean, I need to still get used to the way in which these pieces sort of place themselves, because they can be so difficult to get something in the exact location where you actually want it to be. It can sometimes mess around and just be a complete pain in the ass. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick these little sort of, whatever these things are, these, what even are they? Parapets? No, not parapet, whatever they're called. Castle-y wall things around the top of it, just to give it that kind of, that side kind of look. And it's not looking too bad now. It's not actually not looking too bad. It's got this upper walkway. We're adding in these little bits to try and make them, I don't know, just a little bit more to it. A little bit more going on there. And just to make it seem like it's going to fit a little bit more, like this roller coaster just kind of ploughed through the middle of it. So now it's time to get some kind of scenery going on. Now I decided that I want to add these nice windows with these fancy top pointy bits, because, you know, fancy top pointy bits are all good. They just look better. As well as these things, whatever these things are called. What are they? Can I see what they're called? I can't even see what they're called. I have no idea what these things are called. So the little cornery Watsits is what we're going to call them from now on. The cornery Watsits look a lot better. They just add a bit more character and a bit more style to the side of the building, make it look a bit more just interesting. Now, I was going to go for these as well, but after placing that one, I was like, no, I don't really like it. So instead, we're just going to put these large kind of churchy kind of windows in. And this is where I started to think. I was like, large church-like windows. Maybe I'd turn this into like an abbey. Or something like that, like an old church kind of thing. I was thinking, we haven't really got a church. I was like, okay, we'll have a look. We'll stick this large spire on the top of it to see what it looks like. And actually, I was like, I've stumbled across something here. It just doesn't look too bad. This was the most spontaneous little addition to this than I thought. It actually looks okay. And in the end, we leave it as it is, because I was just like, actually, that looks fine. It looks like an old, large kind of church, cathedral-y kind of old school, whatever. Stick a flag on the top. Bob's your uncle. We're done. Flipping sorted. I mean, look at that. It's just sorted. Nice and easy. Bob's your freaking uncle. As I said, now we need to make the whole place sceneryized. Okay, now like I said, the last one, I wanted to add loads of trees. It's a ruin, so it's got to be in the forest and got to be covered up by a lot of stuff. Now I'm using boulders as kind of like a... It's difficult because there's nothing I can use for kind of like a ruin, which, I mean, I could place some of these pieces on the floor, which I might go back and do. Some of the kind of the edges maybe, or just some like, or a bit of, you know, wall or whatever, line it to the floor and just do it that way. However, for this, I'm using the rocks as kind of like a metaphor. It's a metaphor for rubble and things like that and broken stuff, because, you know, this is a ruin. The things have fallen off and it's broken and whatever. So we have to have this kind of filled out effect that helps to do that. Now I'm still learning how the best ways to go around doing these. Now I make the silly mistake of placing trees first, which I think you should work your way up, you know, like goes like rocks, your little shrubs and low-lying plants, and then your trees, because it's just easier. Because it's easier to get around. You haven't got to mess around with the camera so much. So we're just placing these big ferns and stuff like that all around the outside, just to try and get this enclosed kind of feeling in this area. And like I said, it is an enchanted forest, and the whole point of this is for it to be kind of, this whole area is almost like lost in this forest. You stumble upon it, you walk in, you find, you're like, oh my god, look at it, it's pretty, look at all the stuff, it's pretty and stuff. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going around, I'm adding these trees, but I want trees here, I want bushes here, we want more trees there, and every now and then I do go down to the point of where I'm looking from the pathway. Because the whole point of this is what it looks like to the people who are there. To the people, whatever they're called. I don't think they're called peeps, they're just called the guests. Whatever you want to call them, the guests. We always wanted to make it look good for them because they're the ones that are looking around. So even if it's just a case of filling this area with bushes just so it blocks off the area behind it, that's fine. That's what they do. That's what theme parks do. If you don't need to see it, nothing needs to be there, basically. You can hide it with some other stuff. Now, obviously, you are on a roller coaster, so you are seeing a lot of this. So I do try and get rid of much of the floor as I can. And I might go around this when I go back onto it and try and, just raise bits of the ground around it, just so it has a bit more of a shape, as opposed to this kind of just this flat kind of land. But that's what I decided to do. I decided to fill this in, have a good look around to see what I can do. Now, I wanted something dangling off of this, because I felt like it was a bit boring. So I got the seaweed, because why not? Seaweed's always good, makes a really kind of noise when you're placing it, which is always fun. And just lined it across here for just something else. When you're going under it, you have this extra, not that you're probably going to see it, you're probably going to go too quick, but you have this extra just kind of look. So it just blends and just looks nicer when you're walking across it. There's more to it, there's more scenery around. Completely forgot about the ivy, I was like, oh, freaking ivy! We can't get the ivy, it's a ruin, of course. It's going to be covered in the bloody stuff. So I do dot it, I don't cover it literally, because ivy's a bitch. And it can look a little bit too much, but I'm going to add little bits and bobs here and there to see what it looks like. And just play around there in that sense. And as I'm stumbling across these areas, I'm realizing, oh, this needs a bit more doing to it, a bit more hiding, a bit more foliage, a bit more plantage going on there. Just to make it look a little bit nicer. We obviously add some to the tower as well, the kind of the Rapunzel's tower, whatever you want to call it. And we go from there. Now we're just going to literally move around, just adding a few bits here and there. And we're kind of done. I'm just kind of doing a sweep round now to try and figure out what I need to do, any additional plants I need to add into it. But what I want to do is I want to try and light it, because the lighting in the darkness is always about it as well. So for the time being, while it's still light, I'm just going to place down a couple of these beacon sort of things just to light it up, just for the pedestrians walking around. But I do want to try and light this up using the spotlights, because some of them look wicked, especially when you start to combine the colours and you start to blend the colours into one. But for the time being, I tend just to go for the, because I'm still practicing, I'm still learning, I tend just to go for the white light, because me personally, I prefer the white light, unless when I'm building the Disneyland kind of like castle, well, sorry, no, let me rephrase that, when I'm attempting to build the Disneyland style castle, which I need to get some more pictures of and try and get that studied a little bit more so I can get a rough idea, then it goes from there. But I really like the heights of this. I really like how the church sticks out on top. I really like how that little castle, little tower thing kind of pops up. And I actually really like how it blends with the trees. And I was a lot more pleased with how this looked than I actually thought it was going to be, because it genuinely blends in quite well. And I was really happy with that. So now I'm thinking to myself, right, I need to do something with this gap. I don't know what I'm going to put in, but I did download some more bits there. A few more houses. I've got this posh house. I think it's literally called, it's called the Gorgeous Villager House. It is really good looking. It escapes me who made this one, but I do apologise. But if I remember to mention you in the next video, I will do. But if it's yours, then let me know in the comments below, and I will give you a shout out, because it is. Oh, it's awesome! It looks so good. I was really surprised when I found that. I love looking around on the workshop and just finding little things that people have made. So we're just foliaging the hell out of this, making it look a little bit more homely. Adding a couple of benches here and there, and some lights as well, because obviously people need to be able to see. And I believe shortly I will speed up time, because I realise the sun's going down and we're going to knock it into the day. So I'm just going to put trees there, because I've got no idea what to put in there. Absolutely no idea. I cannot think for the life of me what to stick into that. Giggity. But, we're just going to go that way. We're just going to have to leave it as it is, because now time for the nightness. We're going to try and light the place up and make it look good. Now, we're going for the white light, as I said, because I quite like the look of the white light on the castle. I'm not a fan of coloured lights in this kind of sense. I prefer them when they're just lit up using just light, as opposed to like, oh, let's add an orange light and make the whole thing look spooky. No. No. It's not spooky. It's a ruin. I mean, yeah, ruins can be spooky, but it's not spooky. So we're going to light up a little bit of the church here. Or the Abbey. We're going to call it the Abbey because I live near this park called Abbey Park, which has this massive Abbey in it. It's not actually, it's a ruin of an Abbey. It's basically the footprint of it. It's called Abbey Park in Leicester. It's absolutely massive. It's a really nice park, but that's the kind of idea I was going for. And we're just placing these last few lights around because I know I haven't lit up a lot of the pathways here. And obviously people want to be able to see because, you know, it's more fun. But I did look here and I was like, yes, let's put a fire torch inside a flipping hay kind of, whatever it's called. A hay bale shed of wonder. Yeah, not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. So I'm just thinking to myself, anything else I can add around here that's going to help me? Probably not. So instead, guys, we are going to watch the roller coaster go once again, but at this time in the night time. So I thank you very, very much for watching, guys. And obviously there's scenery as well. I do thank you very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give us a good like rating and subscribe for more of the Enchanted Forest. Next episode, I'm thinking we might try and start the old Disney castle. Ooh, fantastic view there through the trees. Anyway, guys, like I said, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to give us a like rating, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you when I see you, or when I see you when I see you, which will be whenever. Toodle frickin' friends. Bye. Oh, these things are awesome. They look really cool. Oh, it's going nighttime. Have I actually been on a planet when it's nighttime in this game yet? I don't know. There we go. What's this? Memories of Aheldabu Odan. Oh, bastards. Okay, plutonium. Okay, hang on. What have we got here? Plutonium.